and I'm only going to talk for a couple minutes, but I figured this morning, it's a little chilly, but I'm out in Delaware County, Pennsylvania, and I figured that I would talk about a couple things right quick. And one of the things that I am looking at as a whole is, I saw that there was some disgrace, as I call it, in Maine, where they allowed a boy to compete in a women's sport, and then he won an award. At the end of the day, this is the first topic of many topics that I really have a disagreement on. I don't agree with the Democratic agenda with some of these things, okay? When you are telling me that it's okay to have kids choose their gender, it's just downright wrong, okay? There's no other way around it. I don't care how people cut it, see it. It's not morally right. I was never raised that way. I'm pretty sure a good bit of America hasn't been raised that way. The fact that it's become such an issue in the country is ridiculous. And it's a Democrat thing. It's a Democrat thing that people are saying, well, you could be yourself. But, I mean, really, being yourself is just being your gender. That's what you are. God gave you that gender. That's the one you are. A man is a man, a woman is a woman. It's not going to change. People could talk about President Trump and say he's bad and he's evil, bad man, orange man, but whatever they want to say. At the end of the day, it's an issue. It's one of the many issues in this country that have arisen. This is an unnecessary one. You're trying to teach your kids to basically change who they are, and it's at a young age, and it's disgusting in my opinion. I mean, I'm sorry, it's morally disgusting. I don't really agree with it at all. I don't think a lot of people should, and the people that are, it's just terrible. Another thing that I would like to talk about too is about this guy LiAngelo Ball. Okay, he made a so-called hit in today's hip-hop, whatever this is today. But then he made comments saying that Cameron, a rapper from New York, from Harlem, that made it out, and really has done very well for himself with his podcast. Much respect to Cameron. And, he comes out and saying that Cameron is not a good rapper. How on earth can a pander daddy's boy, who probably has no talent in the NBA, in that lackluster NBA that still exists, can he come out and talk about another man that has done more in probably months than he'll ever do in his entire life? I mean, these kids today respect guys like that because they're too young to know real hip-hop. At the end of the day, I just think he's a clown for that, LiAngelo Ball. I don't think the song is that great. You're not a good rapper. You're talking about money and things. These are all things your daddy got for you. You're really not worth half the money that's being put out probably right now, but people say it's the same thing with Kendrick Lamar saying he's the best of all time because he has the most views. Well, that makes no sense to me. He has no talent. He made a song about Drake, another irrelevant rapper, and everybody talks about how great he is too. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. At the end of the day, he should just stick to being daddy's little boy in the NBA, if he even plays in the NBA. He's probably not talented enough to be there. And just leave Cameron alone. Cameron's the man. Cameron's done what he did. I think he said $13 million on his first album. I mean, that alone, with no auto-tune, nothing. He just did what he did. He came from the top, the bottom, up. At the end of the day, that's how I feel about that. It really irks me that people like that get on podcasts, these so-called podcasts, and talk about how great they are. Like Rashad McCants is another one. He's really not. It was never relevant in the NBA. Why do you talk about other people when you weren't relevant as a player? You weren't that good. I mean, I hate to say it. That's it. Coming from a man that has never done it myself, I don't care because it's not me. But I'm telling you, as a person, you can't come at a man that sold 13 million albums in his first album and tell him that he's not good. And you have a dad that averaged 2 points a game in college and never even went to the NBA, I don't think. I just don't see that making any sense. That's my take on it. That's where I'm at with it. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. I'm not going to be on it too much longer, but I had to get this off my chest because at the end of the day, I just think he's a complete clown for sitting there talking about Cameron. It just doesn't make sense. Who else is he going to talk about? Was he going to say Nas is bad too? Stop. Stop the gaslighting. Anyway, today's Sunday, and everything's on the up and up. I'm going to try and make this podcast work. Once I'm going to be moving this week, so I've been really busy with my times. I really have time to get on here. But these are the topics and issues that needed to be addressed as far as it goes today. I think President Trump is shaking the tables and doing what he needs to do to be a president. And unfortunately, you make enemies when you become the president and you do things. But he's doing what he has to do. He's trying to make the Ukraine thing work. Another thing I want to say before I get off here, why doesn't Zelensky sign the treaty? I'm going to let it go at that because I can tell you right now, we know there's a laundering scheme going on with the Democrats. So now Zelensky's got to pay the music and he doesn't want to do it. So anyway, that's my topics. That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm at. Anyway, X-Men.